Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations. Miles Edgeworth, the judge, is very happy to see us. Golly, what happened this time? My god, this case is quite long, isn't it? I feel like we're not really even mostly there yet with what we have. That makes me wonder how long this actually is. Alright, Judge, we've got some things to look at, namely the evidence. It appears that his honor is still dispirited. Well, it's not my problem. I didn't do it.
For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand at the witness stand.
Sucks, doesn't it? We been new.
I now have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony.
Well, there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. Francie, she always knows what to say. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdict.
Francisco, there is no need to further depress his honor.
Yeah, really, he's an old man. Be nice to him. But they're not trying to, Miles.
Your Honor.
Oh no. Oh, he's had it.
Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me. What? Your Honor? The evidence? Your Honor! Oh! You! Yes, can I help you? I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir.
Your Honor, do you think you can stay focused long enough to at least do your job?
I mean, she's not wrong. Yes, I'm sorry. And I would, except that the defense attorney has yet to arrive. She's busy with the investigation. So let's keep this brief, shall we? Sure. Very well. In that case, please confirm that all the pieces of evidence are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell are also included, so please go ahead and use them in your investigation into their case.
Alright, great. Maybe we'll get a bunch of stuff that we need.
Understood, Your Honor. The pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of those two men. This could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding their case. And maybe even something that will finally lead me to the truth.
I hope so, because for now we don't have anything. I mean, not really.
I've placed all the evidence over at the prosecutor's bench for you.
Right. I see. Thank you very much. I will go and confirm that they are all accounted for. Alright, let's do it. Before I go, Francie, you got anything? Yes, what is it? Evidence transfer. It looks like your debut trial fizzled out thanks to it being declared a mistrial. Too bad.
Yeah, too bad indeed.
But now you can take your time beating the evidence they transferred to you goodbye.
Huh. It's much too early to shelve the pieces that were given to me.
Oh? How do you figure?
2 of the pieces were used to kill Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. Naturally, having all of them makes it easier for me to examine them more thoroughly.
Yes, of course.
Don't tell me. You forgot about that fact, didn't you, Francisca?
I don't have to answer to the characteristically foolish questions of a foolish fool. Now hurry up and check the evidence already.
Trust me, I will, in due time. Girl, stop pointing at me, jeez. Hello? You look weird from behind. Man.
What is wrong with him?
It would appear the judge is still a bit dispirited.
Well, Jesus Christ, it wasn't that bad, was it? Stop that! You're being so depressing.
What? You should listen to her, Your Honor, before things go from bad to worse. Although, it can't really get much worse for him other than to be whipped by her. Well, I mean, it could get worse. Could. So, this is the evidence related to today's Cadopian Embassy trial from Mr. Faraday's bag.
You mean the evidence bag that was on the table in lobby number 2, right?
Yes. Finally, we can now take a look at the evidence itself, and not just data about them. Let's be sure to thoroughly examine them while we have the time.
Agreed. I want to take a good look at all of the evidence from the embassy murder, too.
And why is that?
Because I still don't fully understand what today's trial was about.
What? Don't point your crop at me just because you don't know something.
And don't you try to order me around just because Papa chose you today.
I see someone is still sore about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma. Well, oh, okay.
It's all so real to see the knife up close.
So, we have the knife, the gun, an envelope, and what's this organizer doing here? Oh, that's right. I completely forgot to tell you. About what, Your Honor? They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside that evidence bag of his. Detective Bad requested it to be passed along to you. He said it would help the investigation.
Oh, did he? That was nice of him. Detective Bad said that. What a strange stroke of luck.
Well, never looked to give horse in the mouth. We might as well flip through it too.
They're all sealed. Are we allowed to open them? I suppose we are.
Yeah, he says he won't rest.
Alright, well, let's just start with everything. We'll start from top down. The gun.
This gun. It was originally used to kill the Cadopian embassy staff member. When the crime was reported, the responding police found Mr. Rell still holding it, which led to his immediate arrest.
Can we just talk about this music for a second? It's so good. I feel like I'm in a real, crime scene movie. And then, this gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic.
Indeed. There doesn't seem to be anything else we can learn from this piece of evidence.
Alright. We'll go counterclockwise today because I feel like it.
It's the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday.
Who would have thought that such a beautiful piece of art could be used for such a cruel act?
And it's never crossed your mind that you use your riding crop for the wrong purpose? Look, that's not art exactly, is it?
Is that all?
I suppose.
Alright. The organizer. It's the first time we're hearing about this.
Mr. Faraday's organizer. It appears he was in the habit of using it.
It looks like he wrote in his strategy for getting Mr. Rell convicted down in here. I've collected the evidence I need to prove that Rell was the killer. Between the handgun Rell had on him when he was arrested and the surveillance tape, I should be able to prove that he was the one.
Okay. It appears that Mr. Faraday honestly believed that Mr. Rell was the killer in the case.
The sound of his handgun going off was recorded with superb clarity on the surveillance video. I also have evidence that I can use to prove that Rell's not the real Yatagarasu.
And it would appear that he'd prove that Mr. Rell was not the Yatagarasu.
No matter how he may try to play it, as long as I have the Yatagarasu's key, I can prove that he's a phony. If I present it to him in court, it should clear everything up.
And he apparently also had a very definitive piece of evidence.
It's been a long battle. I hope that this will finally bring it to an end.
Yes, I believe that Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Mr. Rell may have had about being the real Yatagarasu.
And he had a way to prove that Mr. Rell was the guilty party in the embassy murder.
This organizer is a clue straight from Mr. Faraday. I'll have to take my time and give it a thorough read later.
Well, I mean, we just did, but yeah, we'll read it again if we need to. Look! There's the picture stuck between the pages here.
What is that? It appears to be a key.
And a rather ornate one at that. Look at the design on the handle.
The craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the Yatagarasu's key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer?
The Yatagarasu's key?
Detective Bad said something earlier. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring. It was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Cadopian embassy, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu sent the evidence? Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others knew about.
That key must be the thing. But he said a select few others. I wonder who he meant. Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep the secret key safe.
As the prosecutor on both the Yatagarasu and smuggling ring cases, that's to be expected.
Right, that's probably going to be very important. Okay.
That's odd.
What is it?
Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer.
That certainly is odd.
The weapon that was used to kill the Cadopian embassy staff member was the gun. But if that's the case, then where did the knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday even come from?
Isn't it obvious? It was brought into the courthouse by Mr. Rell. That's the only logical conclusion, right?
No, because it's not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Every person who enters the courthouse doors is checked thoroughly for contraband.
Yeah, that's what you'd figure.
Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife in as large as this inside.
In that case, how do you suppose this knife ended up inside the courthouse?
I need to think carefully here. There is nothing related to the knife written anywhere in Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, It is a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there is one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen today. So in order to solve this mystery, I believe I will need to take another good look at the evidence.
Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have an answer for me?
Actually, I do know the answer, Francisca.
What? Then what is it?
One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own.
And it was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into the courthouse.
Wait a minute, what, though?
Alright, let's look at this one more time. I believe Faraday brought this as evidence. It was found in Rel's hand. He believes that he brought it. It's gotta be something we've just recently gotten our hands on. Now I'm assuming that this is already what we read, but let's just make sure. Blah, 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 blah. This is, yeah, it's exactly the same. Okay. The key's the only thing he's never mentioned. So is that what we're supposed to bring up? Can we look at it? Can we look at it closely? Oh, no, we can't even, like, zoom in or anything. It just looks like that. Okay. Well, I'm gonna present it, because that's what we just got. How about that? This Yatagarazu's key Mr. Faraday mentions in his organizer. This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse. You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth.
Huh. Does he ever? You just need to look a bit closer, Francisca, to see what I mean. Don't the color and the ornamentation of the key's handle remind you of anything?
Oh! You know what? I didn't even notice that. I was just using it because that was the recent thing that we got. It looks like the knife. It does. It looks very similar. They do remind me of the knife.
Very good. Both the Yatagarazu's key in this photo and the murderous knife have this very unique design on their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions the Yatagarazu key, the only object we found at the crime scene was the knife.
You don't seriously mean to say...
Are they one and the same? Do they fit together, like puzzle? It appears you finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that these two pieces are in fact one and the same.
Oh, shoot! Here we go. But that's impossible.
No, it probably slips in, look. Even if that is what you believe, we should still investigate the possibility. Now then, let us examine this knife in a little more detail.
Oh, now we can do it, okay.
Now, you know, my thing doesn't work very good on this, so... Let's look. Where would we like to... Oh, no, see, that's what happens. The thing goes all crazy. It's the weapon that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. The handle and the blade itself both have beautiful designs worked into them.
Look! There's even a flower-shaped design in the gold section here. If this hadn't been used as a tool for the murder, I'd want it for myself.
She seems to be drawn to the embellishments. Too bad this isn't mine to give.
Well, that's probably where the key fits, no?
Oh, hello? Sorry, my touchscreen's really, really bad. I'm trying to... Here we go. Come on. You can do it. I want to look at the underside of the handle. Yeah, right here. Look at this. This looks like something here. Oh. Look at that.
I can't believe it turned into a key. To think there was such a trick to the thing.
So the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key the Yatagarazu stole. This piece of information is more critical than anything we've learned up till now. Okay. Alright. Well,
frankly, I'm shocked.
Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect of this piece of evidence in his organizer. It's possible that even he had no idea the key was hiding a knife blade inside.
But, if that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to the knife trick could have killed Mr. Faraday.
Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew even more about the key than even Mr. Faraday.
But who could that be, at this point?
Meaning that the only person it could be is the one who sent the key in the first place. The great thief Yatagarazu.
But do we know for sure who that is? I mean, we're assuming who it is. But do we know for sure? Then, maybe Mr. Rel really was the Yatagarazu. And he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that the one possible scenario?
No, because he didn't know about it, remember? Sorry, it's dry in here, I'm taking a drink. Not really, especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced that Mr. Rel was not the Yatagarazu. Besides, as Detective Bad said earlier, But when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was.
Yeah, so... Unless he was really good at lying, but I doubt it. I see. Alright, then I guess the person who knows the trick behind this key is someone else, and that person is the real Yatakarasu.
It seems that this key is truly the key to solving the case.
I've got my hunches on who it might be, but I'm worried.
Okay.
Alright, so now that's where we still haven't examined this here.
I took a quick look through these documents before the trial started.
Well, I wasn't even afforded the opportunity to skim it.
I suppose I should explain it to you then.
Yes, you should. Perfectly and in its entirety, if you please.
On the night of September 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. Mackerel was brought in that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned, because the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot.
A simpleton of a man, that's what he was.
Perhaps, for the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we had. Mr. Rel was caught in the act on film by security camera.
He was an even bigger simpleton than I thought. I can't believe he didn't notice the security camera.
The Cordopian embassy security system is supposedly very well designed. He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area.
So, have you seen the contents of the video for yourself?
Yes, the surveillance video the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. Rel on it, even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear.
So, the footage included sound. I don't think I'd ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life.
Me neither. Okay. That's odd. We're short one piece of evidence. And the piece that's missing is a surveillance video that was played in court.
The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go?
The video showing the moment Mr. Rel committed the murder. Where could it have gone indeed? Who's got it? Someone does. And whoever that is probably a suspect. Are you done with your inspection of the evidence? Yes, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I am missing a single piece of prosecutorial evidence.
Your Honor? Were you derelict in your duties?
Whoa, what? No! I dare not lick my duty. What? What do you take me for? No, Your Honor, the most important piece of evidence in today's trial. The surveillance video is not among the evidence you laid out for me. But I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. Maybe the tape is still somewhere at the crime scene?
Yeah, but we looked over there, didn't we? We didn't see anything there.
There's something wrong here.
Definitely.
Uh-oh, wait, I've got a bad feeling now. Wait a minute. You know who was there grabbing the stuff? Uh-oh. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It would appear that for me to find the answers I seek, I'll have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime, defendant lobby 2.
Right.
Okay, I guess we're going back there.
Alright. I mean, we looked through here before and we definitely didn't see it. So somebody's got it. For sure.
That's Detective Bad, but who is he with? Who is that?
I've never seen that officer before.
So, did you find it? No, not yet. And I looked everywhere. I see. Well then, please continue with the search. Understood. I'll continue the search.
His hair reminds me of something. Something I don't like.
So you're the one running the show. Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes. How dare you? Just who do you think you are?
I think I know.
Oh no, it's not though, is it?
No thank you.
What was that all about? Who was that man just now?
Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impeded officer in my life.
Yo, holy, we got a lot of things to talk about. Does he even know that we're standing right here behind him? Probably, he's got a mirror. I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids? Hey, just because you're 80 doesn't mean...
It looks like you were paying attention after all.
Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head. No, those are just holes. Don't worry about that. Oh, so that mirror isn't for vanity's sake. It's for him to keep an eye out on who or what is behind him at all times.
The dude's paranoid.
So tell me, Detective Bad, who was that rude man just now? The guy came here from the Republic of Zhengfa to study. He's Agent Lang. No! A young Wolverine. That's all we need now. Where's the robot? Is she here too? He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies of detainment from scratch. By visiting various police departments around the world, he has a lot of dedication. And he's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy is more useful than Gumshoe, even if he is rude.
Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time.
I agree, however, I can think of one young lady this statement also applies to. Anyway, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bad?
Earlier, that little girl was poking around in lobby number 1 as well.
Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you. Tuh, I highly doubt that it has nothing to do with me. Huh. Fine, if this is the game I must play, then I'll take this opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding and what happened in this room straight from him. Here we go. Well, this is probably not going to end well either. Yo. Earlier, you were in lobby number 1, and now you're here in lobby number 2. You are quite the busy man, Detective Bad. Multiple returns to a crime scene brings about success. That's what we detectives say. I see. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked you what happened again, correct? I don't have anything left to say to you, boy. Boy, you'll see I will draw my answer from you one way or the other.
Would it kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation?
I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's help enough, don't you think? Please, we're asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation. Don't push me, kid. Alright, well, I don't think this is gonna work, but let's try it. I'd like to ask once again about what happened around here at the time of the crime. He's not gonna answer you. I refuse to answer. Any more investigating you do would be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about?
Things you don't know about, but aren't you supposed to know everything?
He should. Wait, is it possible? Maybe he doesn't know about the trick behind the piece of evidence. I should try showing it to him. It may prove to be the key to getting some answers from him. Wait, wait, really? Are you sure that's a good idea? Alright. Let's do it. Detective Bad, did you know of the existence of the item in this photograph? Huh, of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagarasu case. In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yatagarasu's key are one and the same? What? That's impossible.
It looks like he didn't know after all.
This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagarasu's key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Uh-oh, what's he gonna do? Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yatagarasu's key to prove that Mr. Rel was not the real Yatagarasu. Isn't that correct? I guess so. However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was, in fact, a knife. Yeah, I have to admit, neither one of us knew that fact. And if neither of us knew, then no one in law enforcement knew either. How did we miss something as big as this? I noticed that since a little while ago you appeared to be searching for something. I presume that this key is what you were searching for. Yeah, that's right. And why were you searching for it? Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought? The key is what took Faraday's life? Detective Bad, so that we may find the truth, please testify for me once more. Alright. But it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change. You say that, but we gotta do it, don't we? Alright, time of the murder. Detective Bad, I ask that you please testify once more. Oh, okay. Alright. My answer is still the same. And this is the last time I'm going to do this. Oh, okay. That's fine, because I only need this one last time to clear everything up. You think so, Miles? Because I'm in the dark still. And find the truth behind the case. Right, here we go. Okay.
His movements. I don't know if I want to hear about this. The bathroom is across the hall, sir. I was in lobby number 1, talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed down the hallway together. I saw Gumshoe goofing around there, and then we all ran to lobby number 2. Alright. It sounds like the exact same story he told us before. Indeed. However, I feel that we have yet to draw out all the information that we can. Are we really going to press everything? Hell yeah, we are. About your movements, sir. It's in lobby number 1 talking with you. I don't know if we have to press this, but you know me. Why did Miss Yu choose lobby number 1? Answer me. Who knows? She just said that she had something she wanted to talk to me about. And we walked into lobby number 1 together. That's all. So his answer remains the same as before. I figure it's all going to be the same as the first time. We were talking about some trivial things. Can you go into more detail, please? I was hoping you could expand on what exactly you were discussing with Miss Yu. Trivial stuff was nothing important. That's for me to decide. Oh, we're at a standstill now? Hello? You're not gonna do it, huh? Alright, I suppose that's for him to decide. Moving on then. Wow, we're not gonna get anything. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. We definitely need to hear more about this now, because the last time we heard about this, it was before we got the balloon evidence, right? And all that? Which is what Gumshoe heard. Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary? I didn't hear any other strange sounds. Until that gunshot. If the gunshot Detective Bad heard was really the one from the murder, that would give that other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. Oh, I see what he's saying. Okay, yes. I asked that you please amend your testimony with that statement just now. Sure. Okay, I didn't hear any other strange sounds until the gunshot. So that would mean that if we're trying to prove him wrong, we gotta present the balloon. Not the bonus envelope, you dingus. God. That could have been messy. Have this envelope. Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It's the same color as the one Kay was holding. Oh? So you knew about that girl's balloon? Yeah. I was sitting with her up until the gallery. Or in the gallery, excuse me. During the recess, just before we split up, I filled that balloon up for her. Well, as you may have already surmised, this piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon. So, what about the balloon? I wonder if you might remember hearing of this balloon pop at some point. What are you getting at? Huh. This fragment was found in the hallway right in front of lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of the balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot. Oh? So the sound that the judge heard was not actually a gunshot? Huh. On top of that, His Honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene. Yes, which means that His Honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway when you were in lobby number 1. Yeah, and you said you heard nothing, so what's about that, man? And if you were in lobby number 1 at that time, you were close enough that you should have heard it popping as well. So? What? Don't give me a so. We just proved that there is a flaw in your testimony. The crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivete cracking. Yeah? Is that right? You're really philosophical for someone sucking on a lollipop. I just gotta give it to you. And since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Did you ever stop to think why the doors and the walls of this place seem so rugged? That's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked. Wait a minute now. What is that supposed to mean? You're gonna tell me that the doors are all soundproofed in here? The doors and walls are super thick. The window panes are double layered. To top it all off, even the curtains are made of a special sound-absorbing material. Then you mean... Wait a minute, I don't know how far this is gonna go. Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there's no way I could have heard the sound. Well, if that's the case, then there's no way that... Oh... Wait a minute now. No! There's no... No, this is wrong. I knew it's what he was going to say. Then that means that Scruff-Face's testimony is completely useless. If the rooms are soundproof, then of course he wouldn't hear any sign of a struggle. Duh! All that time wasted if that's the truth, but I don't know if it is. I mean, I'm sure it is, but in a way. That's also why it's only natural
that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now do you get it, kids?
Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic. Not the other way around.
The other way around. Uh-oh. It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if one were in lobby number 1. However, if we examine the situation in reverse, a person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear the real gunshot either. And yet, Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bad? If that is the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot? What do you mean, how? I just did.
No, sir, you just said.
It would appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words. Oh, how so? If the rooms are soundproof as you say, then how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears? I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it from Faraday's murder than I had thought.
That's what you're going with? You gonna tell me the truth? Which means what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to?
It boils down to this. There must be a reason as to how Detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot they theoretically couldn't have.
It looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh?
I think so. The state of the crime scene? Wait! Can it be? Is that ultra-strong perfume you wear? She spilled some of it.
Right! Wait a minute now!
Well,
and way too noisy. Oh! Oh my goodness, yeah! The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it... Oh my God.
Dude!
You guys know what time it is, right? In the next one, we will definitely put this together because I think it's very clear now how this happened. Sorry to cut it off here, but I gotta run. Thanks so much for watching. I'm so glad to be doing this. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am, and I'll see you in the next one. Toodaloo.